your own product photography at home on your phone with next to no money. It's so easy. Why are you paying so much for it? Hey, I'm Mel and I'm one of the founders of VibeCheck. We're an online society dedicated to helping new businesses and side hustlers understand all things social media and social media marketing. At VibeCheck, we are committed to getting rid of the buzzwords, the jargon, and all of the mystery that surrounds social media. Today, we're going to focus on taking easy, effective photos on your phone in the comfort of your own home. It's going to be super efficient and really easy to do. By the end of this video, you're going to understand how to take beautiful photos that are going to up your brand's game online. Okay, so what you're going to want for this is three things. You're going to want light, you're going to want your product, and then you want props. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to get our lighting. So I'm going to use this Duchess or drawer set in my Airbnb, and I'm just going to open up these blinds to get a little bit more light. Beautiful outdoors, but look at that gorgeous light. So we're going to move these towels out of the way, and then we can see our space a little bit more clearly. Lots of nice light, but nothing too harsh, which is perfect. I'm going to open this blind as well just to give us a little bit extra light. This looks fantastic. I'm also going to use this ring light. I got mine from Amazon, although you don't necessarily need one. Next, you're going to want your props. So we've got a towel because I'm in an Airbnb. They've got beautiful white ones. Super accessible, obviously, but also I really like the texture that this is going to give. It just gives a little bit more difference than a plain white background. So I went on a bit of a hunt around the house. These are some coasters that I found, and then I also found this really cool candle holder. I thought that this might be quite fun to use as well. Last but not least, I'm going to grab this baking tray. This one will be perfect for my first idea. I'm going to grab the product and put it inside. This one's a little bit difficult to balance, but if you've got something that has contents on the inside, sometimes giving it a shake and letting the product settle really helps. I'm going to use Chloe, my housemate / business partner's iPhone. She has a much better camera than I do. Make sure you give it a clean before you take your photos and you'll be good to go. Now, what I will do is give portrait mode a go. You don't necessarily have to use this one. However, it does give some really awesome depth. The natural light one is usually one of my favorites. Let's go. So what I'm going to do is just skip through the different modes so you can see how they look a little bit different. This is the natural light mode. It's definitely one of my absolute favorites, but you can do studio light, stage light, and a few others as well. Have a play around and see what works, because obviously each and every person is going to want a different kind of photo. You can also just use the photo tab to the left. That one takes beautiful photos as well. Let's get shooting. So what I'm going to do is pour a little bit of water into this tray. It's going to make everything look so cool. You basically get movement in the photo and then you can play around with that. One of the things that you have to remember when anything is like reflective is making sure you can't see the windows or your light source. So you can kind of see here, you can see the ring light a little. However, in the phone you can't actually see that, which is good. I'm actually just rocking this back and forth now to get a little bit of movement and wave going through. You can see it a little bit better here, and then snapping some photos when it cuts through the product. It looks really fun. I'm really excited to see what these ones work out like. Let's quickly take a look. Actually pretty cool. Very happy with that. You can see with the mode that we've used, it gets a really clear shot even when it's moving. I'm pretty happy with these. These look great. I always like to just go through my photos while I'm shooting to see if there's anything else that I want, or if things aren't quite as clear as I'd hoped, or if there's even reflections. Next, we're going to use the towel. We're going to lay everything out and get a little bit more of an idea of what it looks like through the phone camera. I'm just having a little play around to see if I like it, and then you can see exactly what I'm looking at here. I love how the texture just adds another element to this. It's really cool. I'm just playing with my angles now, just working out exactly how I want to take it. And I think adding in an extra element will be really fun here. So what I'm going to do is get the little marble coasters, and have a play around with these. Oh, here we go. So you can see it looks really fun. However, in the background, you can see the not so pretty outside. So instead, I'm going to make it more of a flat lay. Perfect for Instagram product shots, except I want to make sure that everything is perfect because when editing, it'll all be picked up. And so I have to fix the towel. Let's take a look. I'm just going to move everything around a little bit and take a few more snaps. Here you can kind of see me taking the photo. So I want to get it nice and centered. And then I've also left enough blank space around this so you can do some cropping and moving around. You definitely like that blank space because if you don't have it, you don't have a lot to move around or work with. Here I've switched over to a regular photo. I'm just going to have a play around and move some of these coasters to get a little bit more of a different shot. Nice and close to see all the detail, including the product ingredients. If you tap on the screen and then slide the little sun up and down, you can actually play around with the exposure, which is great to just have a little control over the photo that you're taking. I'm quite excited by this because once we move this, you can see there's so many fun textures here. Like you've got the stone, you've got the glass, you've got, the label, and then you've also got the towel in the background. What I'm going to do is hold the towel up so that you don't see the hideous window behind. You can see me holding it here. That's perfect. All right, now that you have taken all of your photos, it is time to do your selections and then get editing. This is definitely one of the funnest parts. You can sit back, relax, and edit your little heart out to get your photos looking perfect. There are loads of apps that you can use to edit your photos. Lightroom is one of my absolute favorites. I also really love Tezza app. Now, the Tezza app is super easy to use and comes with loads of loaded presets. All you've got to do is tap on them and you're good to go. Let's get looking. The first thing I like to do is take a look at all of my photos. I then like to go a little bit more in depth and then pick out the ones that I like the most. So what I'll usually do is go through and just click favorite on the ones that I really enjoy, like that. And then I'll usually go through and kind of click them and unclick them and just go back and forth because usually there's a lot of photos that look very similar. But this means that you can kind of work out exactly the ones that you like, the ones that you don't like as much, and it just makes choosing photos a lot easier, especially when you go into the editing app. Here's those ones with the ripple. They look really cool. All right, and then if you go into your favorites, you can see all the ones that you like. What I'll do now is go through those and actually cull a bunch more images. Usually you end up with maybe 4 or 5 images that you really like. Sometimes I'll go back and get more, but I'd usually like to try whittle it down to as little as possible. So what we'll do now is just jump into our editing app. There are a couple of different ones you can use. Here you've got Tezza, Visco, both have presets, which is great, and Lightroom you can create your own. That's actually my favorite to edit on. However, the Tezza or Visco is great for beginners. There's a few others here as well. Let's jump into the Tezza app. Basically, if you just pop down and then head to your favorites, you'll be able to find the photos that you have saved, which is perfect. Now there's not too many to go through, which is great. And then once I've imported them, I'll usually pick a couple to go with. So it is definitely a culling process as you go. Now we're at the fun bit. So first and foremost, I always like to crop my image first so that I can get it perfect for the gram. So 4:5 ratio is perfect for your Instagram feed. Then once we've done that, we can play with all the different preset filters. There are so many on the Tezza app, and Tezza keeps adding more all the time, which is great. There are different moods, so obviously work out what works best for your brand. This image I'm cropping a little bit differently. I'm cropping it for stories with a little bit of blank space at the bottom so that you can put a little poll or some text, whatever tickles your fancy. I'm just going to run through this really quickly. However, I'll definitely do a video on some fun tools on the Tezza app. But one of my best or favorite top tips is just to play around. There's so many different functions you can play around with and do, and you'll be able to find the perfect filters or make the perfect filters for you, which is great. Here we are just playing with the last image. I really love the textures in this one. Honestly, it worked out better than I expected. Then if you take all of your images that you've edited, you can save them to your phone and then you are done. So jump into your most recents and then let's have a look. Oh, look at them. They look so good and they're all different moods. That's us done. We have done it. We've gone through. We've found our beautiful props. We've found some great lighting. And then we've taken some beautiful, beautiful photos for our Instagrams or websites. Now, the next step is to post. Easy as that. You guys have created some great content by this stage. If you have any questions, drop them below. You can also jump onto our Instagram to follow any reels or things that Vibe Check are getting up to. I hope you have a fantastic day and happy editing.